Coming up, we got to talk about the worst season of Netflix Marvel show has put out, Daredevil Season 3. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Rewatch. My name is Ethan Bronson, and this is where we are rewatching every project in the MCU in chronological order, leading up to the big one. That's just how I'm going to refer to it as now on. I've been referencing it that, I'm just not even going to say it anymore. Just kidding. It's Avengers Doomsday. We're watching everything so you don't have to. But I highly recommend you watch this season of a Netflix Marvel show. Make sure to subscribe and comment on whatever podcast platform you are listening to, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hey, and also hit the notification bell. It's down here, I think. Today we are talking about Daredevil Season 3, but today I am joined by Wyatt.
Hello, everybody.
And our resident philosopher, Brody.
Hey, everyone.
How are you guys doing today? It's been so long since I've seen you guys.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing good, man.
Oh, Wyatt left. I'm glad you're
Sorry.
doing well.
Wyatt just couldn't handle how good I was doing.
I thought he was going to be the most excited to talk about this, but that's
man.
okay. That's okay.
You know what I think happened? Is I think me and you will presume that Wyatt's dead, but really he was in a church, in a adoption center, getting saved by a nun, and then Wyatt will come back eventually.
Exactly. He's pulling a Matt Murdock right now.
Right? I think that's what's going on.
Well, what are your non-spoiler thoughts before we do our point reveal for Daredevil Season 3?
I don't think every show should try to match the tone of Daredevil, but try to match its like problem solving and coming up with fun stuff with the budget they're given.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the main thing I'm taking away from this season. Even though some of the writing and the character points is like amazing, I think the main thing is there's just a lot of scenes where it's like it's clearly a workaround, but they make it work for the story, and it makes it visually more interesting.
Yeah. Now, I felt like I had the highest expectations for this season of a Netflix Marvel show. Do you feel like you had the highest expectations for this?
Yes. I feel like almost Daredevil Season 1, I had more anticipation. In fact, there's some scenes in this that I thought were from Season 1 because I thought he would still be wearing like the blindfold outfit. And I thought all those scenes that I had seen before, on clips or whatever, with him in the blindfold outfit, I thought those were all from Season 1. So I feel like just going into Daredevil, I was just expecting like Season 1 to be the greatest thing of all time. Even though I knew the rest of the show was good and it was going to get better, I was really just putting a lot of pressure on Daredevil because this is the one that people have talked about and people have a strong favoring for from what we hear. So I feel like I put a little more weight on Season 1 because it was my first impression fully of this character.
Definitely. Wyatt, I know you've been gone for a moment, but we were just talking about all of our thoughts on what, or maybe let me phrase it as this. What are your thoughts on Kieran Page and Thanos' romantic relationship in Daredevil Season 3?
Yeah, I think, I was really surprised. I thought it was a bit of a curveball, really throwing the whole Thanos and Karen relationship at us, especially because this is like Thanos' first time showing up in the MCU. So I was kind of like, wow, what a strange time for Thanos' big screen appearance in the MCU is Karen Page's longtime college situationship. So I thought it was a very strange take, but I kind of liked it.
And I'm sure because of that, your rewatchability score got a lot higher because you realized, oh, I don't remember this happening the first time I watched this, Oh,
I gave it the first ever 6 out of 5 on the Sacred Rewatch.
Well, in a non-jokey manner, what are your non-spoiler thoughts so far on Daredevil Season 3? If you're watching the MCU for the first time, let me put it out there. Thanos does not appear in this. This is a street-level show. It has nothing to do with the Infinity Saga.
Like, what are my thoughts going into Season 3 at the end of Season 2? Or kind of in general?
Yep, just in general.
Kind of knowing what we know now, which is this is the end. This is the end of the Netflix universe. I would kind of at the time didn't really think it was going to be all that great, just because we had somewhat subpar performances from the last few shows, especially when the shows know they're going to be done. But it's still Daredevil. It's still Charlie Cox. It's still the same old from season 1 and 2. So I think the expectations are definitely higher, just because you kind of hold it to a higher standard that you necessarily hold Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones. So I was relatively excited for it going into it, but I'd also
Well,
had seen
and
it.
you
I'd seen it
out of
before.
I was going to say, out of the three of us, Brady, you haven't seen season 3 before, correct?
No, I hadn't seen any of Daredevil until we started watching it, other than like clips and things.
Well, I don't want to beat around the bush too much. Let's do our score reveal, and then let's just go at it. All right. I want to go first because I have been quite critical.
He wants
I
to
feel
go
like
first.
I feel like you guys would almost say that I am a Debbie Downer when it comes to the Netflix shows.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I gave it
Benjamin
out of
Poindexter,
25.
Brody.
Hmm?
It's Benjamin
gave it-
Poindexter's his name.
I gave it a 19 and a half. Come on, guys, give me a round of applause.
Wow. Did it hurt to do?
No,
Were you looking at it and you were like, there's blood on the pen as you were writing it?
I felt like, man, I actually thought it was going to go in the 20s, to be honest with you. Phenomenal show. Phenomenal show. Brody, you go ahead.
Very close to yours. Got a 19.
Wow,
19.
I
It's
ranked it
not
above
reversed.
you.
Yeah, by half a point. I don't
Now-
often do half points. So
Now, if Wyatt could give it a 100, even if on a scale of 25, I'm sure he would. But Wyatt, what is your score?
I gave it a 19 and a half.
Did you really?
Oh man. No, I feel like I
Wow.
messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Can I change mine to a half too?
No. So
Dang
so
it,
Wyatt,
man.
I gotta be honest with you. I really did think, like, bias or no bias coming from you, I really thought you were gonna give it like a 24.
No. Well,
No comment.
I'm very biased towards the character of Daredevil, but I'm also a critic at the core.
Did you think going into it you were gonna give it a higher score? Because you rave about this season of Daredevil.
I don't know if I necessarily rave about this season of Daredevil as much as I rave about Daredevil as a whole. Season 3 is just the end of that kind of puzzle piece saga. But I knew going into it, I remember it being somewhat lower in terms of good from season 1 and season 2. Not that it's necessarily bad; it's still a 19 on our scale, but it is not as good as 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's get into it. What did you guys think of the first half of the season? My initial thoughts are, I was like, wow, this is like the first time I have felt like I can't wait to get to the next episode. And I told you guys going into the last episode of Iron Fist, I said I would be disappointed on that day that we recorded it if I didn't get through, I think I said like 3 or 4 episodes.
That's what you said,
So,
yeah.
I will say this, I will be honest. I actually didn't watch any episodes that day. But the following day, I watched 6 episodes. So
Oh my
it
goodness.
makes up for it a little bit.
6 episodes crazy. That's like when Netflix drops them all at one time and you gotta binge them. That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. I was invested. So invested.
Oh man. Yeah. I found myself really I wasn't watching them back to back to back. But I feel like it kind of helped because like the season I think has a very good gradual build up. And I think the start of the season is just it was the most Daredevil I felt Daredevil had been.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have a character around for like years and years and years without like with several projects, several whatever, and you think like maybe they've done everything with the character, but they don't need to. They don't need to do more. You know what I mean? I'm still interested with the character.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel like there's something missing. And then the writers will throw something at it that you never saw coming, that completely changes how you see the character and just opens like this whole new phase for him. And I think the start of the season really does that. Like I liked the Daredevil seasons before, but him being in the church and him being hurt in the flashbacks, I feel like just really worked this season, especially in the start. And it felt like you were watching like Rocky or Creed. And like this is like your beat up boxer dude who's out of the game for a while. And I thought it was amazing.
No, I 100% agree with you. It this show, and Wyatt, you may be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe
Yes.
season 3 came out in 2018, and I was under the impression that Daredevil season 3, they knew that this was going to be it, because that was kind of the assumption we had for Iron Fist season 2, that they knew that this was the end. So they didn't leave off any cliffhangers, right? And I can't remember
No.
if there was any cliffhangers for Iron Fist season 2. They kind of just felt like this was a contained story and that was it. So
No.
going into this, I thought, well, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to find a finality to it, which I think begs me to ask more questions on how it transitions to Daredevil Born Again, which we will be getting to in quite some time. It will be a minute before we get to that. But I was concerned, and I'm going to go into the story a little bit. The first like 3 or 4 episodes, they were doing a really heavy emphasis on Agent Nadim, and I thought
Mhm.
he was a fairly compelling character. It kind of just seemed like he was just a random FBI agent for the first half of the season.
Yeah.
So I was a little concerned on what they were doing on that end. I knew eventually it would tie in, um, but holy cow, what a great story writing effort they made to like weave it all in at the end. But that's not to say like what I said at the beginning, that I was totally intrigued about the story that they were writing out in the first half of the season. Like I could not stop watching it. Um, and the other question I was really curious about was how they were going to weave Foggy, Karen, and Matt all back into one place. And I
Mhm.
wasn't sure if they were going to have their firm again, or if they were just going to work independently. So those were some questions that were on my mind, and I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't have those questions in my mind
That's actually
watching it.
that's a
But they did
perfect
a
segue into what I was
phenomenal
gonna
job on
say is
that.
somewhat of the biggest
Completely agree.
flaw I think of this
'Cause
season actually is what I feel like what made Daredevil so special compared to the other couple shows is the side characters like Foggy and Kieran were so strong in Daredevil. Where I actually feel like this season they're somewhat the weakest they've been throughout the whole show. Like, Foggy's whole arc with the district attorney and all that is somewhat kind of boring. It's kind of him just parading around and kind of talking to government officials the whole show. Karen's background is something that's kind of teased throughout the first 2 seasons, but it's never really teased enough for, at least in my opinion, any actual care or excitement at all. Like
Mhm.
the episode about Karen's background comes at one of the most important points.
Well, and I feel like it would have been a more important episode to put in there, and story wise, it probably would have made 0 sense for it to happen. Um, at this point that I'm theorizing, but I want to say it was super early on. It was episode 2 of season 1 when Karen is found in her apartment with the guy that died. I can't even remember who died.
oh, way back? That was episode
And
1, wasn't it?
was it episode 1 or was it episode 2? Something like that.
I think it's episode 1 because they have to get brought like, they go in to represent her and they say that she's their first client. So I think that
Yeah,
is
so
episode 1.
I feel that if it was right after that, I'd have a much better idea of who Karen was, because she is like somebody who, my understanding was that she had a very rough upbringing, right?
Mhm.
Uh, so to like see it this late, it's almost like, oh, this just kind of is everything that I thought it would be. Her background, that she was kind of a drug junkie. Um, you know, her family wasn't really around. That's just kind of what I assumed. Um,
Yeah.
so it was kind of odd to put it in there, but it did make sense.
Yeah, it's just one of those where I feel like I was getting more out of that backstory when it was, like, her at the hospital, and she was just
Mhm.
talking about it, and she was like, "This is how I can relate to you." You know what I mean? She was saying all this stuff about there was false news stories spreading. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have paparazzi, but there was people, you know what I mean, asking me all the time what happened, making up fake stories, and I think that conversation at the hospital did way better at explaining, like, what her emotions were, what happened, you know what I mean? Way more than the flashbacks. I know
Yeah.
that it didn't get into depth about how dark she went in her life, but I feel like scenes like that just helped way more in feeling like a natural way to reveal it. Like, she was using it to open up to that person and to relate to them.
Mhm.
Where the flashback, like you're saying, when it's done, and it doesn't really correlate with the current story.
Yeah, and I always feel super weird about flashback scenes, if I'll be honest, or even flashback episodes, which is really what it was, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Usually if it's the main character, it's fine. And I have seen some shows pull it off where it's a different character. But it has to be correlating to the current story, or else
yeah.
it really doesn't find its footing.
It really just does feel like a filler episode if that does happen, you know?
But then again, the fact that it doesn't correlate, you could just skip it if you're rewatching.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Or you could just
But
watch it at an earlier time too.
like I said, you would have missed out on my favorite plug to a fantastic song, Freak Leak. You know, you would have missed that whole part.
That is true. That is true. But I guess, like, couldn't you watch this episode earlier? If you were trying to do like a full timeline
Well,
rewatch, like
I
episodes
think
out
that
of
was
order
my
and
point.
everything.
Like,
Yeah.
if you wanted to like really get it in chronological order, we would break it up, because before we started the Sacred Rewatch, I actually had stuff split up where
Really?
we were only watching like 3 episodes at a time. And you could very well make the argument that this is that episode. I want to say it's episode 9 of season 3 should be the first episode you watch, or the second episode you watch, despite Matt Murdock's, flashback
Yeah.
episodes from season 1 where he's a kid.
Were those full episodes?
I don't think Matt Murdock's flashbacks were.
I
They were
don't think
just really
so.
long
What about the
scenes.
Elektra ones? Were any of those full episode flashbacks or no?
I want to say Elektra was in the Defenders. Maybe?
No,
Yeah. No?
no, it wasn't
Those weren't
Defenders. It
full
was
episodes?
Daredevil. But they usually it would be like intercut between normal stuff.
Because
Yeah.
then that stuff I usually leave in wherever
Mhm.
is the current stuff happening. But yeah, I guess if you did have the flashback, I don't know when that would take place. How many years
Well,
before Daredevil that is.
let me open it up to you guys now. What is a gripe you guys had about this season? Anything that rubbed you
Mm.
the wrong way? As I'm talking about uh, flashback episodes that almost feel filler, which I'm not saying this one is, but I'd love to hear if you guys have any gripes to this. Why did this season not get a 25 for any of you guys?
I just
I just wanted
I
more
really
Matt.
do believe that everything outside of yeah, I was gonna say everything outside of Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Kingpin, and Bullseye is just kind of boring, and none of it really holds your attention the way it used to. And I think a huge part of that is the little interaction we get between Matt and his friends, because that was what made them interesting. What made Foggy's story interesting is because it was cool to see Matt interacting with real life instead of the superhero world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think this
I
stuff
don't
with
know.
Agent
Like,
Nadeem
I agree.
relies too much on sympathizing with a character we just met as well. Like I was
Mhm.
supposed to sympathize with this guy who I've just met him within the first 2 minutes of the show. So it's to side with him over our main character we've known for so long, you know?
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be the main villain.
I also
Like
thought that.
with how they were introducing him, they're like, you mean he's not getting paid enough, people aren't supporting him at work, whatever, right? I was like, okay, this is our villain guy. And then it went through like
Starting to lose his wife a little bit. That's
yeah,
what
and it
I
was like
felt.
2 different scenes and stuff of him just like going into the office. You know what I mean? And then you get to the episode where they're moving Kingpin, and it's like, oh, he's a side character.
Mhm.
I was like, I thought this was gonna be the main villain. I was like, I thought they were gonna like
That
twist this
episode.
somehow.
Oh,
That episode's good.
let's talk.
Well,
Let's talk
I'll
Bullseye.
jump into that. Well, that's what I was gonna talk about. You missed it, why? But I was
Bullseye
talking about
and the
like
show is
this show
amazing.
does so good. It does so good at moving stuff around for the budget. And that scene where you're just in the car with Kingpin is so cool. And it's amazing thing with budget is it's like, hey, we don't have to move the camera around. We can just film everything from the car. Obviously, it must have been tough because a lot of it is like long takes and stuff. But seeing Kingpin's perspective is so good. Like the feet walking right up to the door and stuff. That scene was amazing.
No, that was really good.
Every
I
scene that
kind
he's
of
in is
forget about
great.
that.
Like the
Mhm.
scenes where he does all the fighting to save Kingpin, amazing. Every scene where
Mhm.
he's shown like kind of how crazy he is, there's so much tension and kind of anxiety in all those scenes where he's talking to not Mary, what's her name? I can't remember her name. But every scene he's talking to her, there's so much tension and anxiety. All those flashback
Vanessa.
scenes, there's done so well. He, in my opinion, is the best part of this season.
Yeah, this season I did start to feel a disconnect. Because, like, I know he's doing great with the role. And the voice is, like, over the top, but it's great because it's, like, comic fun. But, like, he feels like he would be in, like, Batman 89. Or in, like, Batman Forever, one of those movies where, like, the villains are really able to be, like, a comic-like presence. And I feel like a lot of the surroundings with him didn't match that. I feel like if this was a movie or something, you could lean more into that.
Mhm.
Because, like, I think he is giving a great performance, but it's a very, like, it feels comic-y, like, it feels cool because of that, but I feel like a lot of the stuff around him, especially when he's talking to other people and they're talking like a normal Netflix show, sometimes I was getting a disconnect. Or if it was a little more stylized, I feel like it would lean into how he's acting a little more. So I would
Well,
rather
and
change the stuff around his acting, not his acting.
and this may be more of writing thing, and it was more at the end. I want to say like episodes 10 to the final one, 13. There was this trope or thing that Wilson Fisk kept trying to tell himself and other people, specifically Dex, that he felt like there was nothing more. I can't remember the exact quote he said, but there was nothing more like relieving than giving out a primal yell. And I felt like that was just an excuse over and over again for him to yell as Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you guys feel that way? That it was kind of odd.
That line did feel out of place, I will say.
And then like them hugging, it was just it was weird.
Yeah, but I did like where they ended up getting with the finale, though, with him. I thought the wedding, it felt like the ending scene with The Fugitive. Have you seen The Fugitive?
No, you're
So,
asking the wrong person though if they've watched something that's
a
not.
little bit of a spoiler alert. But Harrison
Let's hear it.
Ford shows up at this party at the end of the movie. He finally catches the guy who killed his wife, right? And that is exactly what, like, Dex showing up in the finale felt like, except this time it's like if Harrison Ford was in a Daredevil suit.
Mm.
But the finale with him just showing up at the party, I thought that was so sick. Like, that's just cool stuff. And then I thought the editing was amazing too. Cuts to Foggy and Karen outside.
Mhm.
They're like, I hope this isn't Matt. And then it cuts to Matt inside, like, fighting people. I thought the editing
Yeah.
was really good on that stuff. But I thought it was funny also that, like, Kingpin turns to Vanessa when Daredevil shows up and is like, run. And then she runs off screen. And then, like, the next shot, it's like from inside the room and she's just still, like, standing there like right next to Kingpin. Like she didn't go anywhere.
She's
I
just
thought
standing
that was
right
funny.
there.
But no, that whole final fight and stuff was amazing. And the way that they get Daredevil to move so quick. Like when he's like rolling over the table and stuff, he's moving quick. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like some of these other slow Iron Fist season 1 shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just slow action fighting. Like they're actually just moving quick, and it's cool stuff.
What other thoughts you got?
The
I feel
blood
like
splatter
you're
on the
holding stuff
rabbit in the
back from us.
snowstorm painting.
Ooh,
No,
that's
I'm just
cool.
so delayed. My Wi-Fi is so terrible.
It's
It's a
okay.
terrible spot.
It's okay. Hey,
Um,
I implore you to have long monologues for in this situation.
I think the entire scene, when Daredevil goes to the prison, is one of, I think it's the best hallway scene in the entire show. It's better than the hallway scene in season 1. It's better than the hallway scene in season 2. It's better than the hallway scene we get in Born Again, which the hallway scene in Born Again is amazing. But unrelated. The red lights in the prison and Matt having to operate as Daredevil in a situation where he can't because he's out of his suit is amazing. I think it's so well done. Every aspect about it. Him getting pulled into the prison, asking the questions. The Russians, I don't know.
Albanians.
Random Eastern European country.
The
Albanians, thank
Albanians.
you. The Albanians, them dressing up as the SWAT team to get him out, all of it. The taxi driver driving him into the water to end the episode. That episode is one of my favorite episodes of the entire show.
I thought it was
Kingpin
very funny.
smacking his head on the table while in prison to show that Kingpin still owns the prison. Like you can't touch him in there. He owns that place now.
I loved
You put a wolf
because
in
I
the
think
hen
that was
house, you know?
episode 4. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that was episode 4. I loved everything
Yeah, it happens
about
early
them
on.
being at that prison. But my only issue with it is make the exit out of the prison the end of the episode. I did not like that there was still 15 minutes left of the episode, and I should feel this overwhelming sense of like, Brody, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to edit this out. Holy sh! That this was like an awesome, like long scene, and then it's like
Yeah,
my jaw. I had to pick my jaw off the floor, and I was distracted the rest of the episode because I'm like, what did I just watch? And now I'm like trying to figure out what they're still talking about because I missed the last 10 minutes of it because I'm still too busy thinking about the prison. Didn't like that part.
I
because
agree.
it cuts
Big
away,
pivotal
and the
moments
last like
have got
15
to be
minutes
the
are
end of
them
the
like
episode.
finding out about the cover up. I was gonna say this season I think has like 2 or 3 very iconic moments, and that's kind of about it. And then there's the scene when Dex shows up with a Daredevil costume at not the Daily Bugle, but whatever they call it there in their little universe. That part's amazing as well. You know, when he's killing the people and he
Agreed.
shows up and he's about to throw the thing at Foggy, and then Matt catches it and then they fight. Oh, and then Wade Dex kills everyone. He's like, "Hello, Karen. Nice to meet you again." Kind of a cheesy scene, but also at the same time, I kind of like it. You know,
That is some of the stuff. Some of the stuff, as long as there's good character writing, I'm good with the cheesy stuff. Like when Daredevil went into that
what I think the
laundromat and that
Daredevil.
dude was missing a finger, I was like, okay, that's fine. I was like, it's not like
Mhm.
some crazy convenience that this dude has a missing finger. It's a good writing thing, and I'll let it be corny because it just works.
What that episode does really well too, that I feel like a lot of shows don't do, is it really the episode focuses very, very much on directly after the fact. They don't just kind of like pan to like, oh wow, looks like this bullseye guy is really bad, and now everyone thinks Daredevil's evil. A lot of the episode is like directly after the fact, and there's that scene where Karen kind of standing there, and all the phones are going off, like all the loved ones trying to get in contact with them. And there's that scene where she's talking to
Mhm.
Ellis in the hospital, and he's like, you're not going to tell me who did this." And there's that he does great in that scene. It's a very powerful scene, and pretty much like fires her.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of shows very much kind of pass over the somewhat heavier things that come with these Netflix, or not the Netflix shows, these other non-Netflix shows. So it was really cool to see kind of that part of it as well. It being Karen, I'm so tired of them using Karen as their emotional this is so dark. The world's so heavy and dark. Let me cry. They use Karen a lot for stuff like that. I feel like, and it just kind of gets kind of boring when she just kind of shows up on scene, cries.
Yeah.
I really did think they were going to get rid of that after season 1. The idea that she's the damsel in distress. Like, come on, can we have strong, independent female characters at this point? I think when this came out, it's 2018. What are we doing?
I
It's
also
not.
don't like
It's
the
not.
What are we
Wesley
doing?
stuff being
It's
brought
not
back up again.
2012. What are we doing?
What would you have preferred they'd done with her? Like, have her be like guy in the chair, or like what role do you think she would have fallen
No,
into
it's not even
would have been
that.
more interesting?
They rely
I
too much on, I don't know, just the Wesley stuff is boring. You know, I get that she killed the guy, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't deal with that in season 3. Where I know we're watching it, we
Sure.
have a little bit sooner, but at the time even that was a long, long time ago, you know. And the reason she brings it up is just kind of make Kingpin
Yeah.
mad. It's very stupid. And even her admitting it's stupid doesn't make it okay, in my opinion, writing wise. Like, it's still a dumb writing point.
Yeah.
Again, like, I don't care about her background because her backstory is not that, like, it's sad, but it's not like crazy. You drunk drove and you got your brother killed, and the town was mad at you and you didn't go to jail for it. Like, it's not like it's nothing. It's not nearly the mystery they set it up to be. You know, like, they set it up to be a much more kind of like
To be
Karen's
a
in the wrong
huge
type of
twist.
thing, where it really is. Karen made a huge mistake at the age of 20 something. You know, it's not like some big reveal that she messed up. So I think just a lot of the Karen stuff relies too much on somewhat connecting and caring with stuff they think is more important than it really is, you know? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it makes sense, Brody. To answer your question, I don't know exactly writing wise what you could do to make her a more independent character, because I'm not necessarily going to say that she's not a strong character, because she definitely has her points. I'm like, wow, this is cool, but
Yeah.
I think it's the idea of Foggy running for DA, which I loved, by the way. I really liked that idea. I was actually like wanting him to win it, mostly because I know that they didn't do this, but I would love like a show where it's all about Foggy Nelson. He's the DA and he's going over all these cases, right? They could be superhero related, they could not be superhero related. So that would be super cool. So if you're going to go off the end that Foggy is going to be a prominent figure in politics, then give Karen like editor in chief at that paper instead of her still being like a, you know, just a regular writer, you know?
Yeah. Struggling with her boss and stuff.
Yeah.
They
I just feel like
try
a lot
I
of it
feel
is
like they
like
try so hard to
sexual
make her
stuff, yeah.
strong, independent. They try so hard to make her a strong, independent woman. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to Matt. Like, they do a great job at showing Foggy growing without Matt, you know? Matt and
I
Foggy
think
had
that's
a
exactly
falling out,
the
so
point.
Foggy got a job at Hogarth. Yeah, Hogarth and whatever. And even though Foggy, they do a fantastic job at showing Foggy's ability to grow while still caring. You know, he still loves Matt. He still wants Matt to be Daredevil. Whereas Karen talks, but at the end of the day, she's waiting around, still just waiting around for him. You know.
Brody, you're gonna hate
Yeah.
me for this. You can do this if you want. You can do it if you're not. Pop quiz alert. Pop quiz alert.
Oh my
Wyatt,
God.
what was the name of the firm that you were referring to that Hogarth worked at? The full name.
Benowitz and Shao.
Okay, you got it. Never mind.
Hogarth.
Wow. I would not have gotten that. I was
Nelson,
not going to get
Shao.
that.
Shao. Something like
I was
that.
going to be like Hogarth and Law Incorporated Company.
Something like.
Wasn't it at one point Hogarth, Benowitz,
Hogarth
Chow,
ain't even-
and
Hogarth ain't even
Nelson?
all that. And Nelson.
Man, that's just bad business.
That's the idea
Nobody's
she
gonna remember
pitched, but I
that.
don't think he signed on. When do we
Yeah.
watch? So Daredevil Born Again
Yeah.
is going to be a while, right? Okay.
Yeah, let me. While you guys talk, I'll look for that information
Wow.
right now.
That's got to be after She-Hulk. So,
It's gonna be a while.
But yeah, I just feel like the Karen stuff is just like a failed opportunity because like we're dealing with Daredevil who's struggling with his past, questioning who he should be because of his past, and yet they don't build up Karen like off of any of that. Like I know you're saying like it shouldn't relate to Matt, but they could still have her like going to the church and
Mhm.
Matt hearing like what she's saying. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that would have been an interesting way to do it. because he's having that whole
Yeah,
talk about
I
how he
agree.
listens to the prayers and stuff. Having Karen go in there, right? Or you could have had Foggy go in there because he thinks his friend is dead. I feel like there could have been maybe one more scene at the church of them going into it, right? Because they know it's Matt's. I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity just because they use the church so much. I feel like that's what we were missing, is like to get him back into it a little more. But I mean, the scenes at the church were
Speaking
like
of the
amazing.
church,
Like when he says I'm Daredevil, not even God can stop that now. I got chills, dude. When he said that, I was like, dude, we're in for a good season when he said that. That was such a good line. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Effortless Expeditions, a Disney-centered travel agency, here to help you plan your next Disney vacation. Contact them today for a free, no-obligation quote. Wherever the destination, they make the experience truly effortless. This episode of the Sacred Rewatch is also brought to you by Bronson Made, a digital marketing and branding agency that helps businesses grow and stand out. With the idea of our canvas, your story, Bronson Made makes the creative process simple, collaborative, and effective. Find out more at bronsonmade.com or follow them on Instagram at bronsonmade.
Wyatt, not to get your hopes up.
speaking of the church, his mother
I
is
don't have-
alive. What?
I will say, I loved that storyline. Like, I thought that was like
That's stupid.
not a
no,
cheesy
it's
way to
dumb. It's
No!
dumb.
What are you talking
Oh.
about?
It's been 30.
If you want to see
No,
more arguments
it's
like
been
this,
35
Thanksgiving episode.
years.
No, but the fact that she's a nun
Stupid. I
like
think it's
makes it
dumb.
like
It's
no.
Hey,
yeah.
if
it's
I had
cool.
$1
Like, it
for
makes
every
sense.
Netflix
it's cool and
show
it's whatever.
where the mom was
But
alive and came
it can-
back, I'd have $2.
It's just
Okay. Listen,
yeah. Like
what
right?
I love
Thank you. We've seen
about
all this.
Daredevil.
Thank you.
What I love about
Jessica
Daredevil,
Jones did it.
and I'm gonna plug our own episode. I want to say 12.1.
Ooh.
Andreas, I'm pulling this from the dome, by the way.
There you
Andreas
go.
and myself and Brody, I want to say you were there as well. Maybe not.
Probably.
Remember actually, no, I don't think you
I
were.
did
Not
a
that
Daredevil
first-
bonus episode, and
It was a
I think
was
I
a
there for
Daredevil
most of the
bonus
Daredevil
episode.
ones.
And the main talking point was about the themes of Catholicism in the show.
I think I was there for that.
I think you were as well. So what I love about this show is like, not only do you have this interesting conversation points on politics and bribery in the police community, but you also have these interesting points about Catholicism and like whether Father Latham, it's something like that. These interesting points, like what makes somebody like a truly a pure soul for Christ, right? And you later find out in this season that Father Latham, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, which one is right? I don't remember. But like, I thought it was like somewhat funny almost that he was like betting games of pool in a bar, and they find out that he's a priest and they're like, you're a priest, But these ideas that, nobody's perfect, right? And you find out that this nun that has been giving you advice turns out to be your mom. Like that's a really cool idea to me, that when you take a premise of a show and it makes you think about real world issues and ways to make you think even more, not just about the show itself, but real world problems. Brody, can you be me and White's mediator on this? On who do you think's right?
I think it's dumb. I think what's cooler, I think what's more interesting is it's just I don't know. Brody, you talk. What do you think?
It's really confusing. I think for what it's worth, they did better than worse after making the decision that it was going to happen. And I feel like it did kind of it made the first part of the season where he's at the church so much feel more important and more relevant to the later part of the season. So I feel like for that it's good. But they could have not done it. But like I said, I feel like it did kind of give some purpose to those church scenes where now you want to rewatch them. You want to rewatch them and really listen to what she was saying. How can it be interpreted in a different way? So I feel like for rewatchability and going forward, it is interesting information to know.
Mm-hmm. And I will have to say something
I
that
will
I
say,
always
as
think
much as
of,
I think it's
even the
dumb,
first season.
I don't think it takes away from the show in any aspects.
Agreed.
And what I gotta say is, like, anytime even going back to season 1 of Daredevil, anytime I saw them do a scene in the Catholic Church in New York, it always takes me back to Spider-Man 3.
Literally.
Sam Raimi. Is it
God,
Eddie Brock
Eddie Brock
please kill
praying in
Peter
there.
Parker.
praying to kill Spider-Man is just like such an iconic scene. I just got to put it out there, and we will be rewatching it.
No,
soonish.
it's
Is
not
that the
Spider-Man.
same-
He says kill Peter Parker.
He
Oh,
does say
yes.
kill Peter Parker. But is that the same
It's
church
next
that's
level,
in
Hayden. Next
Spider-Verse?
level.
I don't know
He's-
if it's the same church. I just think that there's only one Catholic church in the city of New York City.
But it might be... Wyatt, do you know if it's the same one that's in Spider-Verse when they go to the grave? Like, I remember
No
from
idea.
the Spider-Man games. I don't remember if it's the same church.
Or even I want to say Venom. Is the official title Venom Let There Be Carnage?
Yeah, Venom 2.
Isn't that like whole finale fight in a Catholic church?
Yeah, have you seen the concept art for that?
Mhm.
Yes, I have.
Oh my gosh. I saw the movie and then when that concept art came out, I was like, oh, they could have done so much cool stuff with that.
Also,
Woody
another
Harrelson.
projects that we're going to be watching, Venom. Guys, it's coming up. We're going to be taking our break from the MCU, and we're going to be getting into all things X-Men, the
Hey.
Sonyverse. It's coming up.
All because of Woody Harrelson.
All because
I've
of Woody
tasted
Harrelson.
blood before, Eddie Brock. That's not it. That's the only line I remember for that movie.
The only my last thing that I'll say about the Venom verse, and then we got to keep talking about Daredevil. I think it's so weird that like they have the same runtime as like a children's cartoon movie when it's only like 87 minutes long of a movie. It's like they ran out of money.
Part of me is like,
Thank goodness.
we're making some movies too long.
Agreed.
Like, I feel like that's the other problem. Is
At
it's like,
least
I don't need every movie
know
to
you're
be
a short
2.5
film movie if you're
hours.
gonna
It's
be a
like this
short
new
film
Avatar movie being 3 hours. Cool it.
Stop the Avatar slander. Stop.
No,
it.
it's hey,
Stop it.
hey. I'm just saying. So like, sometimes we don't need the movies to be long because I feel like people kind of after Endgame and Infinity War were like, "Ooh, you know, I mean, if you make a long movie, it's a big event and it's really good." And it's like,
The
no, like, you
Eternals.
have to make the writing really good. How long is Eternals?
2 hours and 48 minutes.
48 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? 2 hours 48 minutes, and I don't remember a line from it. I don't remember much more than what's in the trailer. That's crazy.
Well, another point to that, we couldn't even name all the Eternals on our Halloween episode. We couldn't even do it.
Dude. Angelina Jolie, guy that was in Kenobi. There we go. That's all I got. And deleted scene Joker.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Joker.
And then
Yeah.
guy that looked like Sebastian Stan. And that's all I remember from that movie is people saying, "Oh,
Guy
this guy
from
looks like
Bullet
Sebastian
Train.
Stan." Yeah, true. Lemon.
Yeah. See, we're doing a terrible job again. I'm just gonna move on. Maybe let's talk about the finale a little bit while we're trying to jog some more memory from this show.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys feel about the cliffhanger? I gotta say, I'm quite surprised.
Bullseye's
I
alive.
didn't realize. I was really surprised, and I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together now because I have been spoiled a little bit on Born Again.
Whoa.
Why
What
can you
got
confirm or not
spoiled?
confirm? Be super vague. Is that the same guy?
He's back.
Oh man, another thing he's got to bleep. You're giving Brody all the hard work now. We just changed
Yeah,
editors, and you're
it's
gonna
all
give
right.
Brody
it's
all
just
the hard work.
It's just-
Hey.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy, and I'm pretty sure they're putting like vibranium in his back or something.
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa!
feel
That's
like
a little too much.
I'm gonna
That
have
was
to
like the theories
give
when this.
Brody overtime now. I'm gonna have to
That
pay
was
overtime for
that
Brody.
was no. That's not like a spoiler or nothing. That's just like that was the fan theory at the time when the show came out, was that they were putting vibranium in them.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's
thank you.
cool.
You're
And then
I don't think
we'll
it's true.
allow
It's
it.
just a fan theory. It's just a head
Um,
canon.
I, I thought that ending scene was good, but it just felt like I felt like the Daredevil scene at the end of Defenders. I was
yeah.
like, come on, we just got out of this.
It
We
felt
just
like
got
it
out
felt
of the
like
whole dead guy thought he
yeah.
was dead.
So
But
that
I mean,
begs
it
my
was good.
question. That begs my question. Did the Daredevil writers know that they weren't going to get another one?
I think so. I think the Bullseye stuff
100%
seems
did know.
like we'll just leave it up in the air. It felt like the Iron Fist stuff, where it's like we could go somewhere with it if we get the chance, but realistically, it's not too much to leave it where it feels unfinished.
This is the vibe I get from the end of Daredevil. And Ethan's gonna laugh because I'm tying it back to Batman yet again. It feels like the end of what you would do if
I
you
wrote
were
it
ending
in
a
earlier.
Batman TV show. You're not gonna end your
Gotham
show with
mentioned?
Batman being done being you're not I love that show. You're not gonna end your show with Batman done being Batman. So it's seeming like the show ends with this idea that Matt can go and still be Daredevil. And the way I see Deadshot's eyes opening up, it'd be like at the end of a Batman show, revealing the Joker's still alive. Like the Joker's gonna break out of prison again. It's seeming like letting you know that like these character stories are gonna continue on the same way any comic hero stories continue. This is just the end we're gonna see of it
Yeah.
because it was the end of the Netflix era. This was it. So I kind of
Yeah.
see it as that. It's more of like these characters' stories aren't quite finished. We've seen we've seen the arc. But also they also got lucky, Maybe they did a part of them as like this. If we do get a second chance, it's with Daredevil. There was no question about that. We're not bringing back Luke
For
Cage
sure.
or Iron Fist first,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you
I leave
this,
the.
and
It's like a sliding glass door, The door's closed, but you can see through it. What's up, Ethan?
in the most
That's a
non-spoiler
good
way to
analogy, by the
answer
way.
this,
Thank you, Brody.
Wyatt,
That was a
for
great
like
analogy.
That was amazing.
the 2 to 3 year period that there was no confirmed Daredevil show, because the reason I feel okay talking about this leading up to Born Again is because it's literally in the show, the name of the show, that Daredevil's coming back, right? So we got to talk about him coming back.
Mhm.
Yep.
In that 2 to 3 year period, if the Daredevil writers of season 3 knew that they weren't going to get another chance, did they know that he was going to come back in a different capacity, whether it was a movie, or did you feel that way in that 2 to 3 year period? Because like I said, I'm new to Marvel. I only started watching in 2020.
Mm-hmm. So your question is, when did we start to get the idea he might come back? Like, when did that start to gain
Yeah, without the
traction?
official confirmation that they greenlit a new show on Disney Plus.
There was never the idea. It was never even remotely possible because there's Netflix was Netflix and Disney was Disney, and they kind of made it clear that Disney Plus shows were that. And then he was. Can I say he shows up in a movie? Because that was it.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing
Just
until
leave it
that.
at that. Yeah.
It was rumors, rumors, rumors. It was like rumors, rumors, rumors. Hey, this guy's gained a lot of traction in the way that the way a cult following. Daredevil had a cult following, and people who'd see it when they were my age had
Yeah.
started to get older, and they're like, hey, Daredevil's really cool. We love Daredevil. The same way that old video games started to get popular on TikTok and all that, and Daredevil was just all over TikTok, and it kind of made sense that we all know the movie. We're like, hey, if he's gonna show up as a cameo at all, any aspect, it could be this movie. It just makes sense. And he did. And from the second he showed up on the movie, then the door was open as, we have to see this. We have to see him in our universe, MCU.
And you remember our audience reaction.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. So surreal. Up until he showed up in that film, there was no idea at all that he would have any sort of second chance. But at the second they greenlit his show, I pretty much knew right away kind of where they were going to go direction wise.
So that moment like
because
to me, it didn't
he shows up
feel
in like
like that
there's like
much.
3 shows.
Yeah. And so I knew at that point when
Including
he
his
started
own?
showing up in other shows that it was going to happen, right? But when he showed up in that movie, or we're still going to avoid saying what movie it is,
Yeah.
to you, Wyatt, that
Mhm.
that moment was much more than him just showing up. It was confirmation that something's
Oh, it was
happening
100%.
here.
It's like I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like Thor's hammer falling down at the end of Iron Man 2. We're like, oh, Thor's in this universe now. But imagine if Thor was teased. You know, we
Yeah.
didn't know. That's kind of the first thing that pops in my head. It's like, oh, he's in this
Yeah.
universe now. The door's open for quite literally. Now he can show up at anything because we know he's here. It'd be like if
Yeah.
Cal Kestis got mentioned at all in any sort of mainline Star Wars universe. It would instantly be like, oh wow,
Amazing.
this guy can now show up anywhere. When are we getting him? How are we getting him? Theory, theory, theory. That's a
could,
better
though.
analogy. It's actually a perfect analogy.
Well,
But
I
Star
think,
Wars, it's already in
He
the same
could
universe,
exactly.
though.
He could.
and I think to, and I
Yeah.
think to build on that moment
Yeah.
too.
Well, yeah. You know.
I mean, we're getting to the end of our Netflix shows, and so I think it is good to have this recap. You know, up to this point, we haven't had any Netflix character show up into any of the movies we watched at this point. And the same can be said the reciprocal, that we haven't had
Oh,
any
actually,
movie
never mind.
characters show up in the Netflix shows, correct?
Movie.
Wait. Oh, you mean at the time of this
From the
coming out?
shows we have watched,
Yes, just to this
yes.
point.
Canon
Yes.
shows.
At this point, correct. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Agents of
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D., clearly, that's quite
Yeah.
literally the whole show, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anyone
Well-
showed up at all in anything.
We just got name drops.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of name drops,
I was gonna
last
say
3
this.
minutes, Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Daredevil, I was gonna say, Daredevil's the one show that doesn't bring in anyone else from any other shows, you know? Like, it's very self-contained, especially
No
compared to the
Iron
other ones.
Fist. No Iron
No
Fist.
Iron,
It's a
there's like
shame.
there's not a single crossover character that I can call off the top of my head who isn't from a Daredevil universe. Like, it's almost as if he's separate from the other 3, you know? Like, I'll never once expect Karen or
Yeah.
Foggy to show up in Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones. But I 100% expect all 3 of their shows to cross over at least a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Wait, but we still have another season of Punisher, right?
We've got 2 more Netflix shows
Yeah,
left.
Jessica Jones.
The light is truly at the end of the tunnel. We've got
Because, like we said,
The Punisher
like
season 2
yeah.
after this, and then Jessica Jones season 3. And then we are at Thor Ragnarok.
Ooh, Taika
Such a
Waititi.
fantastic
Before
film.
everyone wanted to kill him.
Before
Can we say that?
I'm everybody. Yes, we can. I'm everybody.
I'm not everybody. I hate the movie that he made, but I think it was the studio. I don't think it was him.
Well, do you guys have any final thoughts? It kind of seems like we're getting to the end of the conversation here.
I love the scene when he's in the prison and he yells quiet and then everyone goes quiet. I thought that was probably the most like comic villain thing that could happen, and I thought it was like a good mix of like funny and good, just to show that he runs it like you guys were saying. Foggy's mom is played by Penguin's mom from the HBO show, which I didn't realize in the first season. If you guys have seen The Penguin, it's the same lady, and she's great.
No, but we need to get around to it.
It's a good show, but you have to be like off the Batman hype. Yeah, that's pretty much.
I was gonna nitpick a little bit. I don't like shows where our main character goes the whole season without showing up in the Daredevil costume. You know, we don't really get to see Matt as Daredevil at all. And without Born Again coming out, that kind of sucked at the time. It did somewhat feel like a little kind of like, you know, if this really is the last time we're seeing our character, let him don the cowl at least one more time. He doesn't actually put. I actually
we were gonna
can't
get
really
a new
remember wearing it at
suit.
all throughout the whole show. Exactly, you
Thought we
know.
were gonna get a new suit.
Yeah, I get him fighting him fighting Bullseye with the old fashioned black like athletic Nike fit. I get it. It's him, I get all the motions and the writing behind it, and it's so self explanatory when you dive into it. But at the same time, let him go get a new suit. Just let him have it. Let him have it.
Mhm. Well, and it
But
kind of goes back
then Born
to
Again came out,
Netflix.
and small spoiler for Born Again, he wears the suit again. So it kind of retroactively writes that little like part of me that felt unsatisfied. So,
Yeah.
revisionist history.
I feel like it's just a mix of things. It's one, the budget in making a full costume, or like the stunt versions of the costume. Like, there's no need to do that if it's just going to be for one thing. And two,
Mhm.
it would feel misleading if they showed a new outfit and then we never got Daredevil again. And they said, okay, he's back as the Daredevil, but you don't get any more. That would have sucked. You know what I mean? So while I do agree that I wish we get something with him in the suit, I do feel like it would have been misleading to be like, hey, here's a new suit. Like, it would have been like that scene at the end of Gotham. If you know the one I'm talking about,
Mhm.
Wyatt? It would have felt like that.
No, I
Like,
know.
okay, you're showing
But
this
also,
why.
but that makes sense because Gotham's not about Batman.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, where you see it
Gotham's
and
a
you're like,
great
oh, I
show.
wish
It's
we
a
got
good
to see
show.
more
It's
of
so
that.
fun.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah, you're like, really, we could do this a season ago. You're gonna give us
Yeah.
24-year-old Bruce Wayne wearing a beanie for the whole season and a half. I get it.
Whoa. What
It's a
if
good
we
show.
watch
Very fun.
Gotham on the Marvel podcast? We can't spoil it.
Sorry.
Yo, wait, can I throw a
You're right.
quick
I'm
note out
sorry.
there,
Spoilers for
Ethan?
Gotham.
That's
Go
like
for it.
unrelated.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for
This
it.
is just for me to say it because I don't think I would get the chance to with another project. Cameron Monaghan as Harry Osborn would have been the most amazing thing to go against Tom Holland, and the fact that we'll never get that is a shame. I think Cameron Monaghan would have been a perfect Harry Osborn, and he's an amazing
That'd
actor.
been really good.
I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true to say that we'll never see it.
It's word
Unlikely.
on the street is it's unlikely.
Yeah.
There's, yeah, I don't know. I don't see it happening, unfortunately. But he's an
and the one
amazing
thing
actor, and I hope he comes in the MCU at some point.
the one thing I do want to say about Daredevil not wearing his Daredevil suit is this whole time period, Marvel is afraid to fully get their feet in the water with wearing comic accurate suits. So it's like them being afraid to have him don it because it's too corny. Because I'm sure their assumption was, well, every time he wears it, it's too corny for him to wear it. So for this last season, we want to make this as grounded as possible, and he's just going to wear a black long sleeve shirt and his bandana.
But
Yeah,
Dez is running around
Well,
in it the whole second half of the episode.
true.
That's true. That's true.
But he should have just like gotten the suit back or something and been like, let's
No,
pay
I
me a
get,
little
but
bit.
it just doesn't. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense writing wise for him to put it ever on. He's
True.
doesn't want to be Daredevil
It would
again.
have
Doesn't know if he
to
can.
change.
Then Dez steals the suit. What's he supposed to do? Beat him up. Then there's a scene at the end where he takes it off of him and like in front of the cops, and then like it just realistically doesn't make sense for him to wear it again. It really doesn't. But that's
Why
okay.
I'm so confused going forward.
I'd rather
From
him
what I've
not wear it
seen,
than
I'm
him
confused going forward.
take it off his body while the cops drag him away.
I'm so interested in Born Again.
But
Because there's a huge gap and there's changes to the character that don't make sense from what I've seen. So I wonder how Born Again's going to handle that, or if it's just going to move forward and not talk about it.
well, hold your breath, Brody. It'll be about a year before we watch Born Again. So I apologize for that.
Die holding
But
my breath that long.
the one thing I do like about, the trope of the villain getting the suit of the hero, right? Is this is the first time we've seen in the MCU that the suit intrinsically doesn't have any superhuman ability, right? It's more of showing
True.
the image rather than, so I do
Right.
like that. Like it doesn't have that normal trope that we see. You know, like going back to Iron Man, right?
Yeah. It's
That
more
is
like
true.
a Captain America
It's not the
suit.
same old. It's not the same old hero must fight the foil of himself trope. Because it's not. They're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
She's just
Yeah.
doing it in
No,
your
it's got
t-shirt.
some
You know.
bulletproof ability, right? Not even bulletproof ability. Can it stop a bullet? I don't think so.
I don't.
No,
I know it can
not
stab a
really.
stab.
So is she just is Bullseye just?
Probably like Captain America
Oh, I
armor.
realize. I gotta correct this before I get outed by a commenter. Earlier in the episode, I called him Bullseye or Deadshot. That is incorrect. He is Bullseye, not Deadshot. Is he just throwing the
Deadshot
from
hell
DC,
out of
right?
those
support
batons
Daredevil,
really
right?
hard?
He did seem like he was
No,
throwing those
Deadshot's
things.
just DC. They're the same character.
Well, dude, when
Because
he's not
Matt
looking
throws
and
them
he
people.
throws
When
the
Daredevil
gun
throws
that's
them,
out
no
of
one
ammo.
dies. When he throws them, they get stuck in people's chests. I'm just confused.
Hey, he's just throwing
He's
them
like
out.
that.
Did you
He's
not
like
see
that.
when he was walking away with the empty gun and he threw it behind him and hit the lady in the face?
So cool.
That was devious, dude. No looker. He just threw it behind him and it hit the lady in the face. That was messed up. That's crazy.
I'm excited to watch the Colin Farrell version in that movie. It's awesome.
It is good. It is good.
The what?
Another thing we will be watching. But you guys
hold
have
on.
any? This
Oh yeah, wait.
2004
Oh
Ben
my
Affleck.
gosh, I forgot. I was like so confused for a second, then I totally remember like the images I've seen from that movie. That's crazy.
Jennifer Gardner.
So cool.
Great movie.
Yeah, that stuff I remember. I just forgot. Like I was like, no, he doesn't play Kingpin, and then I like remembered what we were talking about, and then I was remembering the entry. Dude, Colin Farrell, he was in a lot of stuff when I was younger
Yeah.
that I didn't realize. I was watching Saving Mr. Banks on Disney Plus, man, and I was like, oh, I always remember like liking the person that played the dad in the flashbacks, and then I was rewatching. I was like, that's Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, do you guys have any final thoughts before we wrap it up today?
Hey.
That closes my comments.
Right. See you in a year. Right.
Yeah,
Stay
if you're
tuned.
only watching the Sacred Rewatch to watch our recap on Daredevil, go give some other episodes some love. And speaking of some other episodes, we've got one coming up. We've got our Thanksgiving Illuminati takeover episode. We're gonna be sitting at the dinner table having a great old family conversation. You know, that doesn't involve politics, that doesn't involve any controversial opinions that you normally see at your Thanksgiving meal. So stay tuned for that. And then I also just wanted to say something to you guys on a personal note. Wyatt made a nice comment to me today. The Sacred Rewatch, what I love about it, you know, if you're watching this, we don't got thousands of viewers every single time we drop an episode. So we're really just doing it for the love of the game at this point, you know. But I just want to say, I appreciate you guys getting on here every week. I really do appreciate the conversation that we have with each other. We're able to, you know, catch up with each other. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I'm thankful for you guys.
Oh my gosh. This is heartwarming.
I'm
I
thankful
appreciate
for
you
you
getting
too,
on
Ethan.
here too, Ethan. Oh my
Thanks, man.
gosh.
Thanks, man. I didn't want to prop this up as a way for me to receive all the thanks, you know. I appreciate Brody for editing this
Seems like
episode.
you were
Or maybe
kinda-
it's you, Wyatt. Maybe it's
Seems
you.
like you're compliment baiting.
No, I was not
It should be me.
complimenting.
I'm the one who swears the
Not.
most.
You
I
are
should have to do it.
Well, I just
Hey.
write down the time for it. But
I think your curse number is at like 3. So maybe that's how we do it. Maybe that's how we decide who edits these episodes. Whoever
we
curses
need a
the most.
swear jar,
edit.
man. Swear jar. I think a swear jar is the way we gotta do it. Old
And
school.
if we had a swear jar, Wyatt probably could pay for a whole movie theater when we watch Avengers: Secret Wars. You know,
That's really how we're gonna save up for it.
Think
and
so?
not only just market price on the secondary market.
Ooh.
Those are
There you
expensive tickets, or they will be at least. So, like I said, we've got The Punisher season 2 next. You guys got some time to watch that, and then after that, we only got one more show. We only got Jessica Jones season 3. So,
Right.
all I'm trying to say is savor these moments. Savor these 13 hours you spend watching each season. because it's coming to an end. I know I'll be savoring it.
I'm 50-50. I'll be enjoying the Punisher, and then I'll be like, all right, it's over now. I can rest.
Well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Sacred Rewatch. We hope you enjoyed diving back into the timeline with us. New recap episodes are coming out every week leading up to Avengers Doomsday, and occasionally we got an Illuminati Takeover episode. And if you made it this far, just know we've got a special guest coming on for our next episode. Wherever you are in the multiverse, thanks for making the Sacred Rewatch part of your journey. For all time, always. See you guys.